Welcome everyone, and Happy New Year for those of you who we haven't seen in the office yet. And if you're joining us for the first time, family member, friend of one of our patients, or you just stumbled across this video or our Facebook page recently, I'm glad to have you here and really excited to dive in today. We've got some really great material to go through, especially at the start of a new year. We made it through 2020. I don't know about you. Did anyone else think that everything would go back to pre-2020 at the stroke of midnight? Yeah, me neither. So that's why I'm always excited to really take the next step to see what we can learn from history. Because if I learned anything from history class, is that there's always something to learn from the past. And sometimes before we move forward, we have to look backward, right? So in 2020, great year to reflect on, because for most of us, life has never changed so abruptly. And that's just from hearing a lot of people's personal stories, the trials, the tribulations, the things that we went through. And, a lot of that we didn't necessarily have control over. And it was such a transitional time for a lot of us, new demands, lots of adaptation in a lot of ways, especially if you're homeschooling and trying to work at the same time from home. Like, I can only imagine what a lot of families had to go through. And I mean, just even from our office standpoint, we had to change a lot of things that we did too. And so we've all been there. And through all of that, there are a lot of positives to look at, right? And I love looking at the positives. It's kind of how my mind works. And, this is a great time for you to reflect as well. And also a great time to grab a pen and paper, because we are going to take a lot of great notes today. And we know in the research that when you hear, but also write things down, you're going to get a lot more out of that. Your recall and implementation of the things that we're going to cover are going to be much greater. So grab a pen and paper. Try not to use the notepad on your phone, because it'll just log you out of this video and you'll have to get things restarted again. So good old-fashioned pen and paper. If you have to, maybe you are on your computer, you can pull up a document and write along with me here. But what were some of your greatest victories? Some of the best realizations maybe you had, things that you've been unexpectedly grateful for? What were some of those unexpected moments in 2020 that you went through? And maybe just even mentally think about one of those things. And some of the most common things that I heard is that people had a lot more time with family. Life slowed down for the first time ever. You weren't running from soccer practice to hockey practice to baseball to music lessons and trying to fit dinner in there somewhere. So slowing down life is immensely powerful for a lot of us. And then let's switch gears. What were some of the most trivial moments that you had? What did you have to overcome individually, spiritually, mentally, as a family, with your job, socially? How did these things help? How did your health get impacted? Were you all of a sudden working from home on a couch, slunched over? All of a sudden you're developing all these tension headaches and neck pain. We heard a lot of that through lockdown 1.0 and now 2.0. And looking back, what were some of the things that you thought would happen this year? What were some things that you thought you complete, places you go, new jobs that you would start, new whatever it was? What were some things that you just felt like just couldn't get to that? I wish I accomplished that. I really had my mindset towards that, and it just got derailed. So looking back, what were some of those things? And not that I want to dwell on the past, but what we can learn about the past is how we responded in those moments. And those are really powerful key takeaways in these times, because now we can be more proactive in not putting ourselves in that position, regardless of what government or what your job does. Regardless of all these outside factors, you can prep your mindset for success. And whatever comes your way, whatever comes your family way, because this is your year to take back control. And you can control the controllables, right? There's a lot of things maybe we can't get that, but some of the most important things in life you have control over, and especially when it comes to your health. And that's what we're going to focus on today is how your mindset really impacts every aspect of health. And before we can even talk about transforming your body, we need to transform our minds first. And it all starts here. And you can't expect new miracles with old mindsets. And that's why it's really the most overlooked essential that we talk about in the office. And we try our hardest. We put a lot of effort and energy, and it's really a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis when you are in the office is really focused on developing a good, powerful mindset. But this is going to be a great opportunity. We can spend another 25 minutes or so really diving into the most important essential that we have on this planet. And it's absolutely essential to getting what you want in life and creating the person that you want to be and need to be. Not the person you think you should be, but because of other societal standards or norms, but creating the person that you need to be for you, for your family, for the people that you lead at work or in your community. And for most of us, our mindset has been the number one thing that's been affected this year. It's something that we've all had to adapt to, for better or for worse. And regardless of your underlying thoughts on New Year's resolutions, this really is a great time to reset, refocus. And once we do that, all else will follow. Because as Tony Robbins says, as energy flows where focus goes. So let's get started. And really, when it gets to hitting the reset button and getting the best start and doing that, we need to start quite simply here is in any situation it's really all started by finding the blessings in life, right? And it can be simple things. It can be even areas that you really struggle to find a blessing in, and really, that's what life is. Life is we are all here for a purpose, and we all have blessings that we can find in every aspect of life and all that you do. And life is always happening for us, not to us, okay? And we've really been given the greatest miracle, and it's really easy to look past that. And once we start really finding the great aspects in life and the little blessings, and really applying that to a lot of moments in life, the good and the bad, is when we really start to make massive transformations. And you can always find the wrong. That's always going to be available. But finding what's right will always push you to be better and push you to that next level. And so once you get to this point, then you can be the blessing. And giving is always going to give back in return so much more than you could ever imagine in such a significant way. So we're so blessed to have really amazing patients, and I'm so glad to share, what we have to offer in terms of every essential of health with you guys, and you guys diving in and really taking control of your health, because right now we need that more than ever. And so one of the biggest tragedies that we've come across in the last year is really the battle over the mind. And from a health standpoint, we've been conditioned, not just this past year. It didn't start this last year. It's been going on for decades, that health comes from a pill, potion, or lotion, and something from the outside to do an inside job. And pharma spends billions of dollars on advertising. They spend billions of dollars making sure that they're influencing policies in government through lobbying. They are the number one lobby effort in government. Billions in our medical system, doctors, administrators, to ensure that they have a stronghold in that system. And it's not our fault, right? We're inundated with this information ever since we were young. The average 18-year-old has heard 100,000 hours of pharmaceutical ads in some way or another by the time they're 18. And so that gets ingrained in our mind, and that influences all of our actions and how we think about our health. And so what mainstream authority has failed to convey us all this time is that all healing is self-healing, right? As true healing involves from the creation of life, which no drug has ever been able to do. And when that healing starts within, that's why it's our mission to teach you the 5 essentials of health. Because yes, nutrition, exercise, detoxing, restoring proper nerve flow to the rest of your body so your body can function at 100% is our mission. It's our mission to equip you with the most powerful tools possible. And healing begins with your mindset. Every thought, every emotion you have, everything that goes through our conscious, but also more importantly, our subconscious mind, is what actually drives our overall health. And just like nutrition, exercise, and chiropractic, our neurology actually directs our internal physiology, even down to a cellular level. Every single cell is affected by our mindset and emotions and subconscious thoughts, like I said. And you can go deeper with this with the Biology of Belief book written by Bruce Lipton and his teachings, and lots of other doctors that are now teaching and preaching this. And so our body chemistry, our biology, everything is directly connected to this, and our hormones are directly responding to the emotions that we initiate, creating cascades of reactions throughout our whole body. And every organ, tissue, every cell, every system of our body is affected by this. And so it's actually something that pharmaceutical companies rely on. They know of the power of the mind. And there's thousands of studies to prove that. Every single drug on the planet, aside from a select category of drug that I want to get into, but every drug on the planet goes through rigorous testing, right? And every study uses a placebo, so an inert sugar pill essentially that they give people. And long story short, this is a really interesting to dive into if you want to dive into it more. But when they look at the impact that a placebo drug has on the body, it accounts for 30 to 50% of the effects, the positive effects, so-called positive effects of drugs. And so 30 to 50% of the time, the placebo has the exact same effect that the drug has. And so they know this. And it's a really cool thing in my mind, right? Like, that's how powerful your mind is that when you think you're getting what your body needs to heal, your body will start healing. And there's lots of complicated, intricate processes to explain that. But just so you know that whatever health challenge you're going through, whatever goal you want to hit, whatever your focus is for this next year, starts with understanding that you have the amazing capacity to express health to your limitless potential. And don't let anyone let you think any differently. It's impossible to be inflicted by fear, especially this last year. We've seen that firsthand, how that can impact a society. And it's really impossible to let that settle in when you really fully encompass the power of your body, of your body's potential to be healthy and express health. And so, moving on, want you to write down 2 things that you want from 2021. What are those 2 things going to be? Try to focus on some of the health things you want to be, because it'll align with the rest of our plan here. And so for me, it's getting back to a solid morning routine. So there's some great things that I've implemented in the past that really helped get my morning started. It wasn't really ever, extravagant, taking 2 hours to do a full morning routine, but even just 15 minutes to devote to myself, doing some particular things that really helped start my day off, like change the rest of my day, change my week. And I do need to get back to that. I also want to focus on doing our advanced plan nutrition and our core plan, and actually starting with doing advanced plan 90% of the time and core plan 10% of the time. And if you don't know what that is, it's in your book. If you don't have the book or have no idea what I'm talking about, we do have a seminar coming up later this month that you'll definitely want to tune into when it comes to really transforming your body. But those are things that I want to focus on. So I want you to write down 2 things that you really want out of this next year, that you're really excited about, you really want to focus on. And I'm not going to talk about creating resolutions because, yes, it has developed a bad stigma for good reason, because 85% of resolutions have failed by February. Because, I mean, let's get real, like, resolutions are not resolved, right? It's the wrong word to put to a complicated process. And, you know, really when it comes to a resolution or goals that you have, they're all most of them are works in progress, right? And it's, which is great. Like, through process, we actually learn, we grow, we learn to be resilient, adaptable, coachable. We get humbled, hopefully, and through that we actually become our potential, and our potential is actually grown and shown through this process. And really the outcome is just a reflection of the work that we put in, right? Like, the process is definitely the most important aspect of all this. And with that, you can trade your expectations, right? The expectations you have for your resolutions or goals, for the process that's ahead of you and what will come of it. And so those are really powerful ways of just refocusing your mind. And so when it comes to the reasons why people fail through these resolutions, there's a lot, but here's a few that we commonly hear, is that aim too high, right? And there's quotes out there saying something along the lines of, we have over expectations for what we can accomplish in a day, but underestimate what we can do in a week. Or we overestimate what we can do in a week and underestimate what we can do in a month, right? Like, we have these massive vision of what we can do in a day, and we get really excited, then we accomplish just 10% of that. Then we just get beat down and we lose our train of thought, we lose our focus, and we're back to square one. Dealing with setbacks, it's gonna happen, right? Like, if you do focus on those, typically they happen every day. The major setbacks hopefully don't happen that often, but they will happen. It happens to all of us, and that's okay. It's actually through those setbacks that we learn a lot and we can grow from that. Motivation is another huge factor. It's easy to get motivated. You can watch a YouTube video to pump you up. You can go to the gym, see everybody else working out. You get motivated for that day, that week, maybe that month. But when I go to LA Fitness or look across the street, the parking lot's packed in January. In April, it's 20% of what it was. And so a lot of times motivation isn't quite enough. And we'll dive into how we can actually flip that concept into something much more powerful. And of course, there's also social pressures, conveniences, old habits, things that we just fall back on. And, you know, being in those situations, going back to motivation, like, if you're just relying on willpower and motivation, you're gonna cave. And we'll go over some powerful ways to really transform that as well. And obviously, we all love to see the results from the work that we put in, right? That's why we take updated x-rays after, you know, initial corrective phase of care for a lot of our patients. And it's a great way to reassess, confirm how the body's adapting and changing. The same goes with exercise and nutrition. Like, yeah, of course you want to feel better, look better in the mirror, and feel more confident, and all of are very valid. But just knowing that health is always a process, and in every process takes time, and most good things in life take time. And when you stick to those things, when you stick to something that you know is true and you believe in, like, I think we can all agree that eating well and exercising, getting some movement in throughout the day, reducing stress in life, getting adjusted, and keeping up with your spinal care are all great things to do. And those things don't drastically, miraculously improve overnight. And so just trusting in that process and knowing that by staying committed, and keeping those actions and habits sustainable, you'll get a lot from it. And so all of these sound familiar, right? Like we've all been there. I've been every one of those. And, like I said, we can learn a lot from those instances, from our mistakes or failures. It's hard to look at something as a complete failure when you turn it right around into something positive, something that you can develop from. And really, they're just opportunities for growth. And all of us need a disruption in life, because if we didn't disrupt our normal patterns, we would keep going down the same path that we've always gone. And so there's always positives to come out of those tough situations. Every leader, coach, boss, every marriage, every team, professional team, you name it, every person has gone through adversity. And some of the people that have made it to the next level and are some of the most well-known people on the planet, the most successful people on the planet, have gone through the most adversity, have failed the most times. And so you're not alone. And again, the way you respond to those is really going to dictate your ultimate reality. And really, the greater the struggle, the greater the results. And think of a time that you were really pressed. Like, even so, we're getting ready to go on a trip, and I like amazed myself on how much I was able to get done in a 5-hour window, because I was stressed. I needed to get things done, needed to do everything to get things aligned so I could go on this trip and not be stressed while I was there. And so, these moments, we figure out solutions, right? We're put in a new position, and we can figure out ways to get through that. And it takes trials and errors, mistakes. There's gonna be victories along the way. And so that's all part of the process. And understand that is really the most important thing, especially when it comes to creating good habits, a resilient mindset, happiness, success in your life. So nothing happens overnight, and it's really continuous focus and consistent action that's going to get you there. Think of a time when you were younger and you really wanted something. You wanted a new bike or a video game or whatever it was. Like, put yourself in that place, feel those feelings again. Like, what was going through your head? What were the emotions that you were having at that time? How intensely focused were you on that one thing? Think about how your actions revolved around that. Like, did you create this vision board for what you wanted, that bike or that house or that new job? Like, you created maybe a physical vision board or vision in your head and what that looked like, right? Like, it was so vivid. You could picture every aspect of that. You could feel what it felt like to have it. And then every action that you had was directed around that. You spent every waking minute making sure that you were driving closer to that goal. And so I'm not saying you have to be completely obsessed with, say you want to exercise more consistently. Like, I'm not saying you have to do that day in, day out, all day long, multiple times a day. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But just using the power of focus, the power of vision to really put yourself into a new state. And it's those states that are going to drive your actions, and your actions are obviously going to drive your results. And so if everything aligns in that way, you're going to be so amazed where you are 3 months down the line, 6 months, 9 months, a year out. You are going to be so much better off than when you started. And we see that every day, every week in the office when we go through testimonials and people are coming off of medications, losing weight, feeling better, getting back to playing with their grandkids. Like again, it's a process. It does take time, but if you're constantly moving in the right direction, you're going to be far better off in the end. And really, for a lot of us, it's crushing those limiting beliefs. That's what this slide's supposed to say. I don't know how this got messed up, but crushing those limiting beliefs that we've developed over time. We've maybe we're told them, maybe we started telling ourselves those things, and they've started becoming ingrained in who we think we are. And some of those limiting beliefs are really holding us back. I've had to work through plenty of those myself. It's not easy. It does take time, but it takes time and repetition. And it's really not your fault. It's something that for a lot of us was ingrained within us even at a young age. Our subconscious mind is a powerful tool that is driven usually from a very young age until we're about 6 or 7 is when we develop a lot of our subconscious tendencies. And this is something we can dive into deeper at a different time. But when it comes to ingrained in your subconscious mind, your subconscious mind is processing tens of thousands, sometimes 30 to 40,000 thoughts every minute, right? Like your conscious mind can maybe hold 4 to 7 things in your mind, the things that you're readily aware of, 4 to 7 things at any moment. If you're a guy, maybe that's 1 or 2. For me, it's maybe 2 on a good day. But it's really a survival mechanism that we built up over time because our primate, our reptilian mind, our survival part of our brain is really trying to protect us and keep us alive, and we'll do whatever is possible to do that. And so a lot of these things we don't consciously think about, but some of the limiting beliefs that we develop over time can definitely hold us back. And some of those limiting beliefs can be a little more superficial, like, oh, I don't have time, or I'm tired, work's just been busy, I'm stressed. They're important points, but if you truly value your health, you will prioritize the way you fit in your exercise, you fit in eating well, or meditating, or spending time with family, or going to church. Like, you will value and prioritize those things and make it happen if it really is. And so writing even down a few of those limiting beliefs and just seeing it for yourself is very great realization and a powerful tool that you can cross those things off. You can crumple it up. We've done exercises through Max Living in some of the development camps that we've done. We write a list of those things out, dwell over them for a second. You develop that emotional response that those things are holding you back. They're not allowing you to get what you want in life. You crumple it up, you light it on fire, literally light it on fire, and just throw it out, because that doesn't define you, and you can redefine yourself based on what you want and what you want to create in your life. And so there's a lot of different tools that we can go over in terms of really flipping your mindset and creating a powerful mindset. But here's a few things that are really powerful. And if you have more questions about some of these and how to implement these in your life, ask us when you're getting adjusted, like, what do you do for this? How do I do that? What's the first step in that? Like, those are the conversations we love to have. So when it comes to developing gratitude, easiest way, most powerful way you can change your mindset. They've done numerous studies on how it changes the way, not just how you think and feel, but it actually changes your neurology, how your brain is wired. And you can do that by just writing down a few things that you're grateful for every morning. It can be simple, like, my kids brought me breakfast this morning. I'm grateful for my kids today. They didn't bring me breakfast, but I'm still grateful for them. They're still great. Affirmations, things that you reaffirm to yourself day in and day out. And forgiveness may be one of the most powerful tools that you can do from a spiritual standpoint, especially, and something that's hard to do, probably the hardest, but most transformational. Even things that you never thought you could forgive someone or yourself for, especially yourself. Start with yourself. So, and then what do you fill your mind with every day? In the morning, on your way to work, when you're coming home from work and going to see your family, what are you filling your mind with at that point? Or are you bringing work home with you? What are the mantras that are you telling yourself every day? Again, what are you reaffirming to your subconscious mind that's dictating your actions and reactions towards things every day? And who are you surrounding yourself by? And when we're really looking to shift our mindset, some of the most powerful things we can do is using our breath, as well as physical movements and motion. Because, just think about, like, if you were to stand up right now, just stand up, jump around, do 10 hops. I guarantee you it's almost impossible to have a frown on your face. Guarantee you. Like, breathing, our breath is massively important, and maybe something that we even do a future mini workshop on, because you can harness the power of your breath to really calm your whole nervous system, take away a lot of that sympathetic, that stressed out state that a lot of us are constantly in, and dramatically impact how we go about our day. Sleeping well, so much to be said there, but just sleeping an optimal amount and getting good sleep and having good even rituals around sleep, like how you start to mellow down at night. Maybe you have everything even prepared for the next day before you go to bed so that you can wake up refreshed and not be scrambling and stressed out right away in the day. And decluttering your day, decluttering a lot of the stresses, the unnecessary stresses that you don't need in your life, and really just reassessing those things. And really just finding the patterns, the things that trigger a lot of that is going to be big. So we want to help create new patterns to really move to the next level. And so to do that, we definitely need to plan and prepare, commit ourselves. And really what that starts with is, like I said, focus, vision, and massive action. And we also want to take a step back and really dig deep, like really find within ourselves not just what we want to create, but why. Why is that important to us? If you want to start working out more, like, great. Like, yeah, it's absolutely essential to move every day. But why? Like, what's that going to do for you? And you can start as simple as, well, I'll have more energy throughout the day. I'll feel better. I'll move better. That's great. Then maybe take it to the next level. By moving and feeling better, having more energy, what's that also going to do for me? Now you have more energy to focus on clients at work. You have more energy to focus on your family. You have more energy to put into other things that are going to transform your life as well. And so, I can't tell you how many people, made those realizations in usually their first couple of visits in the office, because that's one of the bigger questions that I always ask. It's like, yes, I'm really concerned about your headaches and neck pain, but why is that important to you to correct? Of course, you're gonna sleep better. You'll be able to focus more at work, but how does that impact the rest of your life? And that's where light bulbs turn on, and people don't realize what level they can take their life to, and really the potential that's being suppressed by things that are really hindering them. So, it's okay to think selfishly in these moments, but really thinking selfishly in terms of your health, you're actually going to be bettering yourself. That's going to really help the rest of your life and everybody that you're connected to and surrounded to, and really helping you fulfill your purpose as well. And so write down something that really moves you, something that you wake up excited to every day, and you're excited to take on the day for, and what you're excited for this next year, and accomplishing those goals. And so when it comes to actually creating those goals, creating those visions, it really helps to categorize things. And this is something that I also need to work on too. This is something I've used for many years, and it's worked great when I use it, and it's time to come back to it. And so I want you guys to join me here. And when we think about goals, think SMART. This is something that I've seen floating around, but is underutilized, because goals need to be concrete, right? And these steps will really help you solidify that in your life. And so SMART, so the acronym, write it down, SMART. Starting with S, they need to be simple, specific, easy, and in some ways convenient. You need convenient tasks associated with that. So we don't want to make it so crazy hard that you're not going to even know where to start, right? Like, Start with the things that you know you can attain, and then we want to be able to measure that. So M for measure, want to be able to measure progress along the way. I would break that down, especially when it comes to health goals. I would break it down into what does that look like daily for you? What does that look like weekly? At the end of the month, what does that look like? And then in terms of accomplishing that, what does that look like a week out, a month out? Where do you want to be in those moments? 6 months, 12 months? And then you can check back to see how things are progressing along, and you'll be amazed on on where you're at. They should be attainable. Again, it's easy to shoot too high, right? You're better off starting with things that you can make even small progressions with. That'll go a long way. They should be relevant. So R for relevance. Again, going to back to your bigger why. Why is it important in your life, and how is it going to make a massive impact that you want to attain? And then timely, tracking that progress again, and making sure that you are along your way. And so this is something you can take a picture of, so you can see, maybe screenshot this, so you can write down your own goals and then use the SMART goal way of attaining that. And so really, we're excited for you guys. You all have such great potential. A lot of that has already come out since I've met you, since Dr. Peter, Natalie, Colin, and the rest of our staff have met you guys. Like, sometimes you guys don't even realize how far you've come. And a lot of times that's in even a short amount of time. There are countless examples of that. We've had people that literally just cut out sugar, didn't change anything else. They were getting adjusted and lost 10 pounds in a month. Felt great, changed the trajectory of the rest of life. They didn't realize how much sugar they were eating on a daily basis and how much it was suppressing their mood, their energy, the results that they were trying to get in the gym, like you name it. There's little changes that can go a long way. And so that's why we're so excited for you guys to start this new year off on the best foot possible. And again, it starts with mindset, right? And then next is the action steps. So take action, like what those goals that you wrote down, take just even one of those, write out those SMART goals, set those action steps, and start today. And, we have some time here before our next seminar to you can really prioritize through that, get a start on some of those things. And then if you need an extra push, you need some more accountability, maybe you just don't know where to start, we're here for you. We can definitely help you next time, as soon as we have time to sit down with you and go over things. But we also have our next seminar coming in a couple weeks, and could not be more excited to have you guys join us. And unfortunately for this one, we have to limit it to just 30 people, because of regulations and things like that. But we're going to dive deep on this one. We have lots of great materials that we're giving you to walk away with, so that you have those action steps right in front of you. You have that game plan. We're going to cover tons and tons of great information in terms of nutrition, how to get the most out of the nutrition changes that you're going to do, the most out of your exercise plan and detox plan. It is just $20 to register. You're getting a lot more for that. I can't believe it's only $20, but you get a lot more for that. And we even have cash prizes at the end. We're going to do measurements and weigh-ins and things like that to help you stay accountable, to help you stay on track. And we have some great things ahead for you. So, and then we'll do a nutrition plan and challenge to follow that up to really get you on the best foot possible. So we're going to be releasing that registration next Tuesday at 9 a.m. And we just want the people that are committed to their health and really want to take things to the next level, because that's who's going to get the most out of this. And we want to pour in as much energy and love and information into you as possible to get you on the right foot. So let us know if you have any questions with that. Again, super excited to have you guys with us on this mission of ours, and we're just as equally happy to be on this mission of yours. So love you guys. Let us know if you need anything. We are here for you, and let's have a great start here in 2021.